Welcome to MB Tool Reviews. Today on the channel we have this, the Trend pocket hole jig. This is the 240mm pocket hole jig. One of many of Trend's different type of pocket hole jigs. This is a clamp in version where you bring the material to the clamp and then clamp it down and then drill your holes. For those of you who are not familiar of what a pocket hole jig is or what it does, I will be demonstrating that in a few minutes, so stay tuned. I've had this for about a year and a half now and I've used it quite a few times. It's a fairly decent pocket hole jig. I've had the Kreg portable jig as well, one of the little mini ones, and that's okay, but I prefer this. It's a bit more stable to bring your workpiece and actually drill it with a clamp in place. The Kreg mini jig that I have is okay for when you are in a tight spot, when you're working in situ and you need to drill pocket holes into something that's already assembled, but I do prefer this for manufacturing pieces. When I'm putting something together, I prefer the fact that it's a clamping method. I know Kreg do something similar to this. I personally like the Trend one. It's a UK manufactured product and therefore it's a little bit cheaper in the UK than the Kreg jigs, which usually come with a little bit of additional cost because of the import fees. This is also pretty well made. It's made from metal on the sleeves for the drill bit, and on the base I believe that is a very thick plastic and the rest of it is all metal. You have this adjustment here, fine adjustment for clamping down your workpiece, and you have an adjustment with this arm. This can be taken off and it can be moved into the two holes that are slightly forward of it, just there and there. So this piece can actually come off so that you can get a tighter clamp on your workpiece. This will do material from 16 to 38mm. So the set comes with a stepped drill bit with a depth stop collar. It also comes with a clamp. The set also comes with 3 Allen keys or hex wrenches. One for adjusting the depth stop, one for adjusting the sleeves on the pocket holes, and one for loosening off the bolts to move your clamping arm forwards or backwards. It also comes with 2 square drive or Robertson bits. It comes with this long one. It also comes with a shorter one, which I haven't got with me at the moment, but they both do the same thing. They're both square drive bits, and these are for the special self-tapping pocket hole screws, which I'll show you now. Okay, so these are the pocket hole screws. These are 7 by 30mm or 1¼ inch. Now, as you can see, they have a cutter on the tip and they're quite a narrow body, and then they have a pan head with a square, which is quite difficult to see. There we go. So it's a square drive. The reason for the square drive is that it eliminates any movement or potential slipping when you're driving in the pocket holes. It's very, very tight. It's a very good fit. It's unlike the PH. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate the pocket hole jig in action. So You can set your width of your sleeves. You should probably set them based upon the width of your piece of wood or your material. Okay, so what you do now is you put your piece of wood or whatever material you're going to be pocket holing, and then you'll take the handle and you'll push it forward and clamp the material in. If you're not happy with the material in the way that it's clamped in, this is a tiny bit loose, you can just remove it, extend the rubber bumper at the front, and then tighten the nut at the back and clamp again. And that gives you a tighter fit. You can also screw down the pocket hole jig. It has holes for you to screw it down onto your workbench or wherever you may wish to screw it down. Then your sleeves, if you're happy with their positioning, mine are obviously completely off to the side here, so I'm going to reposition them to the center of my board or close to it, like that. And then I'm going to slightly widen them using the Allen key that was provided. If you're widening the sleeves, you need to do this before you clamp down your piece of wood. So you need to decide your measurements. So I'm going to go 2 centimeters from the center on both sides, and then tighten up. Now my workpiece is ready to clamp down again. And I'm pretty happy with that. So now what you would do is you put your pilot bit into your drill with your depth stop already set. If you haven't done this, obviously I've done this a few times before, so my depth stop is always set at the same depth. But if you're new to this, then you'll set the depth stop into the sleeve, and then you put a penny or something underneath it just to shim it off the bottom slightly, and that will give you enough gap so that you don't hit the bottom. So I'm now going to drill out the holes. And you should plunge and release a couple of times, allowing the sawdust to come out of the vents and also to come back up the drill bit if they need to. I'll now drill my second hole. There we go, the holes are drilled. I'll remove the workpiece, and there you go. Pocket holes are drilled nicely there, ready for you to put in an appropriately sized screw. Now there are different size of screws. The one I showed you earlier in the video is a 30mm, and I think they range up to about 70mm depending on the workpieces that you're using. And obviously pocket holes allow you to do multiple different types of joints, whether you be joining boards side by side, T-joints, right angles, butt joints. Pocket hole jigs have a variety of different uses. I'm now going to demonstrate me screwing this onto a piece of timber so that you can see how it joins on. Okay, so I have some scrap wood here, which you may have seen in my recent CA glue video. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out. Here is the wood which I just drilled out the pocket holes. So now I'm going to put the screws in and then join it to the scrap wood. I'm going to screw it in using the self-tapping screws, so I can demonstrate to you how that works. Now the only thing is, I would suggest that possibly, if you can, try and clamp the two pieces of wood together while you screw it in, to stop it from slipping, stop you from screwing it in the wrong place. If not, you may just want to screw it in and then loosen it off and then screw it in again. Okay, so I'll now demonstrate again just with the other side. Now that that's in position, again, just take your screw as you would any other screw, and you just push it into the hole and drive it in. Don't overdo it. If you drive it too far, you can start to push through the wood. That's why they have the pan heads, to sort of try and stop you from doing that. But if you impact drive this in, you may over tighten it and you may end up boring through the wood, which is one of the reasons why you can only really use pan head screws, and really it should just be pocket hole screws that are actually designed for this purpose. I've tried this with wood screws and they just push through the wood, they eat through it, so it doesn't really work. Okay, so now that I've demonstrated the jig and how it works, just some quick facts about it. It's currently on sale for £76 in the UK. This is the 240mm version, as I mentioned earlier. It will do sizes of material between 16 and 38mm. It comes with 100 of the size 30mm screws, which you just saw me using, but you can purchase different sizes. And this is not the only jig that Trend do. They do a variety, as I've mentioned. They do portable versions, slightly bigger versions than this. Thank you for watching today's video. If this video was of some help to you, please give it a like. And if you have any questions about this tool or any other tools featured on the channel, please leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you. And please remember to subscribe to the channel for more tool reviews. Thank you.